Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. And so today's video, we're going to be pushing the brand new brawler Jae-Yong to 1,250 trophies. I think anything above that is just not really worthwhile. But anyways, we're going to be pushing him with archery and soda, and we're about 5 games away from getting it. But yeah, we're going to be going through his best builds, his best stop powers, whether he's going to be strong or not, etc. I love doing these sort of taster videos. And again, if any of you guys are going to be buying the new brawler in the shop, make sure you use a credit code. Mine would be greatly appreciated. So straight away with Jae-Yong, I think he's going to be insanely underrated brawler. I know that I put it in my title yesterday and it didn't even come out, but I seen like a consensus before he'd even like sneak peeks came out that he won't be a strong brawler, but I think he's definitely going to be on the stronger side. The fact that you get every 7 seconds this boost, whether it's a speed boost, whether it's a heal boost, it is insane, and it's automatic. It's not even through your damage dealt, which just makes it even better. So again, I can just heal here, and I can spam some heals to the Frank, and then if anyone gets close, I can just pop this Gadget, and it's going to deal some insane damage. So let's pop this over to the Frank. Should have probably super kicked that, to be honest, but here we go. Get infinite speed through my main attack. Like, how is that not good? How is that not good? As a support brawler, there's just so many support elements. But that's going to be the first game there. Of course, you're not going to look at the damage here. It's all about your support elements, even though I've got the most. Let's jump into the next one. All right, guys, jumping into the next game then. So in terms of star powers and gadgets that I'm using, I think overall from what I've tested, I definitely like the damage gadget more, mainly because I'm playing Brawl, because I do need that extra bit of damage. I'm facing off against Mortises, Buzz, you know, look at the amount of HP on their team. Of course, the support brawler, his weakness is going to be damage. Of course it is. So I do need that. And then I went with the extra damage star power again. I feel like the speed one could be pretty good in some certain compositions, but let's face it, in really high level games, you're going to be split up for the most part. You just are. It's not worthwhile clumping up. He's going to be a mid, so he's barely going to get the most value out of that star power, in my opinion. Let's push forward archery there. Might be able to get some extra speed for the Frank. And again, like, the speed's just good for your teammates, but you don't really want to stay on speed for too long. Like, you want to probably spray out a few shots like that, and then switch over back to the healing. And then if anyone comes close, you want to go over to the damage. The damage gadget as well does deal some splash, which is pretty effective, especially on maps like this, because you can wall peek with it. You see the little area with your super. Okay, I'll like this. That's the amount of range it can have. Right, we're doing some extra splash here to boss. I'm going to pop my damage gadget here. That's going to absolutely rip through them. You just see how much damage I just did. The Pearson with his star power is insane. The amount of damage that you can do. Nice from archery there. I'm going to pop. I'm just going to stay here, until I need someone to heal. So again, I'm going to go over to the Frank. And some extra healing here. There we go. Some healing to the Chester as well. Frank's going to use his super. I mean, okay, I should have just passed to him anyway. I can't even see if he had an empty goal or not. Just so much support capabilities with his brawler. It's insane. How is he not going to be like easily S tier, in my opinion? As we say that, we're getting absolutely destroyed by this Buzz. You just need some DPS with him. Of course, in this meta, you're always going to have a DPS option, right? And this bear is on me. I think Frank should be able to score there. Beautiful. Right. So, yeah, he's beautiful. I'm having so much fun with this. So fun. So incredibly fun. Let's jump into the next one. Okay, so now I'm going to be testing out the other gadget and star power here. So, gadget, I think number 2, it is the slow one. So this will slow your next 5 seconds. You'll be having slow basic attacks. So it'll leave a trail as well. So this can be really good on control modes, I believe. So hot zone, any type of position where you'll be wanting to control and zone the opponent. So you can basically turn him into a control brawler. That is insane. A support control brawler, then, with the other gadget, a damage brawler. There's just so much to like about him. Don't think I've got the damage to take him down there. Okay, I don't know if I was the best on the Mandy, but we're going to slow like crazy. So even if the Mandy wants to take that ball, there we go. I'm going to switch back over to the heal, so I can help our Chester move up. The healing isn't anything crazy, but it's just the fact that your healing can then go through your teammates. So it's just like the Byron star power, right? The Pierce star power. You can just constantly heal up your teammates, and then you're dealing damage to the people even further. It's, of course, really, really strong. So this hyper bear is not going to be fun whatsoever. There we go, extra healing. I need someone to help me with this bear. Help me, please! We actually managed to take him down there. Nice. Whew, that was insanely close. Okay, 7 seconds changing your, I don't know, change your mode every 7 seconds. I don't know whether that's too strong. Good goal from the Frank there. I'm a little bit scared of that. I think that might be a bit too low. So yeah, let's test a bit more of the star power and gadget. All right, guys, jumping into the next game then. So I didn't really talk too much about the star power in the last one, so let's try it out again. So again, the earlier kind of stages, it seemed really good. The additional 10% with every teammate. Look how fast I am. You can kind of take over the game. There will be strategies with his star power. You know, it's not a bad one. Just saying in general, you're going to get more value out of the other one. But then again, the other one's quite situational. Like you've got to think that you know, players aren't going to be grouping up all that much, to be honest. And you get that extra bit of 20, I think it's 20% extra damage with the damage star power, whilst this one, I guess it just gives you value straight away, right? So I've not actually pressed this gadget yet. So let's spam some attacks now. It's going to help us there. That extra bit of healing. Let's try. I think that's a goal there. I didn't even realize everyone got wiped. And there we go. So we got the 1,250, but we'll continue playing and analyzing this brawler. So let's jump into it. All right, guys, jumping into the next game then. So talking about his strengths and weaknesses. As I've mentioned, his strengths are definitely just rely on. He's pretty good into everything, right? He has the speed, which is going to really help just take over games on Brawl Ball and just gain overall position on the map. He's got healing. Of course, healing's going to be really good. It's not any crazy healing, though. I will say that's like the biggest downside. Like, I feel a lot of the time you can just overrule his healing, which is good because then he'll just be too good at everything. But his speed is definitely very, very strong. Can be really good with some certain compositions, especially those tanks. So let's put out this damage gadget. I've switched my build now just because, again, I'm scared of all of these really aggressive combinations. Also, Lumi is like so toxic on ladder, by the way. I've not played against her too much, but every time I face a Lumi, I swear I lose. Just so annoying. But here we go. We can just spam out this attack, and it's the fact that it lingers on the ground as well. You can just get infinite speeds if you span out your attacks. So here I'm going to pop into healing mode. Don't think I really want to. Okay, he just gets the goal anyway. So now we get the 1,250 actually, but a couple more games here just to talk about how strong I think he'll be. So let's jump into it. All right, guys, jumping into the next game then. So let's talk about where I think he's gonna fit in the meta. Again, he's gonna be a brawler just like Max, in my opinion, just like Byron, where these support brawlers just tend to be so criminally underrated. But in draft, he's gonna be insane. I just know it. It's the fact that he can just do whatever he wants. Basically, he's got so much versatility. I don't think I've got the damage to take down this Mortis though, so yeah. Of course, in a 1 versus 1, he's not going to be able to melt everyone. You can see the clear weaknesses here, which is good. You don't want to support brawler that can literally do everything right, but at the same time, it's hard to really fully counter this brawler because, again, his weaknesses you can easily just combat with a good lane like Chester. You can see here Frank's been doing a decent job. You know what, I'm just going to get this ball away at this point. I'm going to try and give Frank the speed. Just leave me be. Just at this point, like, Mortis, of course, is going to counter me. It's like Poco, right? How is a Poco going to kill Mortis? It doesn't mean he's a bad brawler if he can't win that 1 versus 1. It just means that he needs a bit of support. He's a support brawler, of course. Right. We might be suffering here because we're against this Mortis, but it's just a good idea on what I've been, you know, really failing to counter. So I think here I've just got to try and run away from this Frank. Don't know if I can kill there. Nice. We actually managed to stay alive here. Should have maybe not swapped that mode, but it's all good. I've just spamming and panics. And somehow I was able to defend that. But the extra speed helps you get away from those assassins as well. So there is just so much to like about him. Let's try and give our Frank some speed here so he can go up the map. Again, this Mortis, just leave me with a Mortis. It's never going to end well, right? He's by far going to be like my biggest counter. We got a good hypercharge there from Archery. And it'll be interesting to see how he fares when he gets the hypercharge, right? Because pretty much every brawler has a hypercharge in the game now. I think he'll be very strong with a good support hypercharge. So just leave me be if possible. Mortis has no ammo. Yeah, we should be able to take him down now. Beautiful. Right, this is definitely a much tougher game here. I'm going to pop my super, which helps me get away from the Frank. Teammates, you going to help me out with this one, please? Come on. Let's try and survive this. Nice. All right, let's go into heal mode. Kill my teammates. I've got damage here through the wall. That's going to kill the Mortis. This is so intense. For a ladder game, it's exactly what I wanted. It's exactly what I wanted. Right, I'm going to go to speed mode here just to get this extra bit of a boost before overtime pops. Comes to heal boost, which is not really going to help out Frank, but it helps out me for sure. Damage boost as well. Shouldn't have actually auto-aimed that. Alright, there we go. The speed boost going into overtime again. It's just crazy, this constant cycle. And I think actually the biggest annoyance to me is that I don't really feel satisfied when I'm dealing damage. Like, every other brawler, of course, literally the amount of damage you deal, the faster you charge your super, but it's not the case with this brawler, which is pretty annoying. I would like for some faster super cycling, personally. Well, like, in a sense, I can control how fast I charge my super by how well I'm doing. So if they was to kind of keep this super charging automatically, they should probably heavily nerf it in the future, in my opinion, and then make it so, you know, just like every other brawler, personally. So nice goal from the teammate there. That was a really sweaty game to end things off. So basically, I think he's going to be an S-tier brawler in the meta. He's not going to be like, well, as I say that, look at the damage as a support brawler. That is actually kind of insane. I think it's going to be very strong. Again, it's hard to tell without ranked, but I just think with his versatility, did all the different modes, every 7 seconds, you don't even need to deal damage. You know, for example, you get a max speed, well, like a mini max speed every 7 seconds. So imagine that with like some really good hypercharges on your team and knockout bounty that can overwhelm the opponents. Like, there's so much to like about this brawler. I think it's an easy one. I think he's easily S-tier. Not game breaking, but very, very strong in my opinion. And then again, with my best build, I would go for probably something like this. I don't really love both of these star powers, so are very situational, but the extra damage is very, very good and covers his weaknesses. And then maybe if you're going on to hot zone, you know, something like this would be very good. So I think it's worthwhile purchasing if you're debating it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, guys, and I'll see you guys next time.